Welcome to Kotler and Keller's Marketing Management Series, Chapter 16, Developing Pricing Strategies and Programs. Let's get started. Learning Objectives. How do consumers process and evaluate prices? How should a company set prices initially for products or services? How should a company adapt prices to meet varying circumstances and opportunities? When and how should a company initiate a price change? And how should a company respond to a competitor's price change? For some years now, the internet has been changing the way buyers and sellers interact. On this slide is a short list of how the internet allows sellers to discriminate between buyers and buyers to discriminate between sellers. These include get instant vendor price comparisons, check prices at the point of purchase, name your price and have it met, get products free, monitor customer behavior and tailor your offers, give customers access to special prices, and negotiate prices online or even in person. Pricing practices have changed significantly, thanks in part to the recession in 2008-2009, a slow recovery, and rapid technological advances. But the new millennial generation also brings new attitudes and values to consumption, and also renting, borrowing, and sharing are valid options to many. Some say these new behaviors are creating a sharing economy in which consumers share bikes, cars, clothes, couches, apartments, tools, and skills. Bartering, one of the oldest ways of acquiring goods, is making a comeback through transactions estimated to total $12 billion annually in the United States. Trade exchange companies like Florida Barter and websites like www.swap.com connect people and businesses seeking win-win solutions. In small companies, the boss often sets the price. In large companies, division and product line managers do. Even here, top management sets general pricing objectives and policies and often approves lower management's proposals. Many companies do not handle pricing well and fall back on strategies. Other common mistakes are not revising price often enough to capitalize on market changes, setting price independently of the rest of the marketing program, and not varying price enough for different product items, market segments, distribution channels, and purchase occasions. For any organization, effectively designing and implementing pricing strategies requires a thorough understanding of consumer pricing psychology and a systematic approach to setting, adapting, and changing prices. Purchase decisions are based on how consumers perceive prices and what they consider the current actual price to be, not on the marketer's stated price. Customers may have a lower price threshold below which prices signal inferior or unacceptable quality, and an upper price threshold above which prices are prohibitive and the product appears not worth the money. Different people interpret prices in different ways. Reference prices. Although consumers may have fairly good knowledge of price ranges, surprisingly few can accurately recall specific prices. When examining products, however, they often employ reference prices, comparing an observed price to an internal reference price they remember, or an external frame of reference such as a posted regular retail price. Price quality inferences. Many consumers use price as an indicator of quality. Image pricing is especially effective with ego-sensitive products such as perfumes, expensive cars, and designer clothing. Price endings. Many sellers believe prices should end in an odd number. Customers perceive an item priced at $299 to be in the $200 range rather than the $300 range. They tend to process prices left to right rather than by rounding them. All types of reference prices are possible. See Table 16.1, and sellers often attempt to manipulate them. For example, a seller can situate its product among expensive competitors to imply that it belongs in the same class. Marketers often encourage reference price thinking by stating a high manufacturer's suggested price, indicating that the price was much higher originally, or by pointing to a competitor's high price. A firm must set a price for the first time when it develops a new product, when it introduces its regular product into a new distribution channel or geographical area, and when it enters bids on new contract work. The firm must decide where to position its product on quality and price. The company first decides where it wants to position its market offering. The clearer a firm's objectives, the easier it is to set price. 5 major objectives are survival, maximum current profit, maximum market share, maximum market skimming, and product quality leadership. Survival companies pursue survival as their major objective if they are plagued with overcapacity, intense competition, or changing consumer wants and needs. Maximum current profit. Many companies try to set a price that will maximize current profits. They estimate the demand and costs associated with alternative prices and choose the price that produces maximum current profit, cash flow, or rate of return on investment. Maximum market share. Some companies want to maximize their market share. They believe a higher sales volume will lead to lower unit costs and higher long-run profit, so they set the lowest price, assuming the market is price sensitive. Maximum market skimming. Companies unveiling a new technology favor setting high prices to maximize market skimming. Product quality leadership. A company might aim to be the product quality leader in the market. Other objectives. Nonprofit and public organizations may have other pricing objectives. A university aims for partial cost recovery. A nonprofit hospital may aim for full cost recovery in its pricing. A nonprofit theater company may price its productions to fill the maximum number of seats. A social service agency may set a service price geared to client income. Price sensitivity. The demand curve shows the market's probable purchase quantity at alternative prices, summing the reaction of many individuals with different price sensitivities. The first step in estimating demand is to understand what affects price sensitivity. Estimating demand curves. Most companies attempt to measure their demand curves using several different methods. Surveys can explore how many units consumers would buy at different proposed prices. Price experiments can vary the prices of different products in a store or of the same product in similar territories to see how the change would affect sales. Statistical analysis of past prices, quantities sold, and other factors can reveal their relationships. Price elasticity of demand. Marketers need to know how responsive or elastic demand is to a change in the price. Each price will lead to a different level of demand and have a different impact on a company's marketing objectives. The normally inverse relationship between price and demand is captured in a demand curve. See Figure 16.1. The higher the price, the lower the demand. For prestige goods, the demand curve sometimes slopes upward. Some consumers take the higher price to signify a better product. However, if the price is too high, demand may fall. Companies prefer customers who are less price sensitive. Table 16.3 lists some characteristics associated with decreased price sensitivity. Demand sets a ceiling on the price the company can charge for its product. Costs set the floor. The company wants to charge a price that covers its costs of producing, distributing, and selling the product, including a fair return for its effort. A company's costs take two forms: fixed and variable. Fixed costs, also known as overhead, are costs that do not vary with production level or sales revenue. Total costs consist of the sum of the fixed and variable costs for any given level of production. Average cost is the cost per unit at that level of production. It equals total cost divided by production. Management wants to charge a price that will at least cover the total production costs at any given level of production. Suppose Samsung runs a plant that produces 3,000 tablet computers per day. As the company gains experience producing tablets, its methods improve. Workers learn shortcuts, materials flow more smoothly, and procurement costs fall. The result, as figure 16.3 shows, is that average cost falls with accumulated production experience. Thus, the average cost of producing the first 100,000 tablets is $100 per tablet. When the company has produced its first 200,000 tablets, the average cost could very well have fallen to $90. After its accumulated production experience doubles again to 400,000, the average cost is $80. The decline in the average cost with accumulated production experience is called the experience curve or learning curve. Costs change with production scale and experience. They can also change as a result of a concentrated effort by designers, engineers, and purchasing agents to reduce them through target costing. Market research establishes a new product's desired functions and the price at which it will sell, given its appeal and competitors' prices. This price has desired profit margin and leaves the target cost the marketer must achieve. The firm must examine each cost element, design, engineering, manufacturing, sales, and bring down costs so the final cost projections are in the target range. Cost cutting cannot go so deep as to compromise the brand experience and the value. If the firm's offer contains features not offered by the nearest competitor, it should evaluate their worth to the customer and add that value to the competitor's price. If the competitor's offer contains some features not offered by the firm should subtract their value from its own price. Now the firm can decide whether it can charge more, the same, or less than their competitors. Given the customer's demand schedule, the cost function, and competitors' prices, the company is now ready to select a price. Companies select a pricing method that includes one or more of these three considerations. We will examine 7 price-setting methods: markup pricing, target return pricing, perceived value pricing, EDLP, going rate pricing, and auction-type pricing. The most elementary pricing method is to add a standard markup to the product's cost. Construction companies submit 2 job bids by estimating the total project cost and adding a standard markup for profit. Lawyers and accountants typically price by adding a standard markup on their time and costs. In target return pricing, the firm determines the price that yields its target rate of return on investment. Public utilities, which need to make a fair return on investment, often use this method. The manufacturer can prepare a break-even chart to learn what would happen at other sales levels. See figure 16.5. Fixed costs are $300,000 regardless of sales volume. Variable costs, that are not shown in this figure, rise with volume. Total costs equal the sum of fixed and variable costs. The total revenue curve starts at 0 and rises with each unit sold. The total revenue and total cost curves cross at 30,000 units. This is the break-even volume. An increasing number of companies now base their price on the customer's perceived value. Customers must deliver the value promised by their value proposition, and the customer must perceive this value. Firms use the other marketing program elements, such as advertising, Salesforce, and the internet, to communicate an enhanced perceived value in buyers' minds. Ensuring that customers appreciate the total value of a product or service is crucial. The key to perceived value pricing is to deliver more unique value than your competitors and to demonstrate this to prospective buyers. Value pricing. Companies that adopt value pricing win loyal customers by charging a fairly low price for a high-quality offering. Value pricing is thus not a matter of simply setting lower prices. It's a matter of re-engineering the company's operations to become a low-cost producer without sacrificing quality to attract a large number of value-conscious customers. EDLP. A retailer using everyday low pricing charges a constant low price with little or no price promotion or special sales. Constant prices eliminate week-to-week price uncertainty and the high-low pricing of promotion-oriented competitors. In high-low pricing, the retailer charges higher prices on an everyday basis, but runs frequent promotions with prices temporarily lower than the EDLP level. Going rate pricing. In going rate pricing, the firm bases its price largely on competitors' prices. Going rate pricing is quite popular. Where costs are difficult to measure or competitive response is uncertain, firms feel it's a good solution because they believe it reflects the industry's collective wisdom. Auction-type pricing is growing more popular, especially with scores of electronic marketplaces selling everything from pigs to used cars as firms dispose of excess inventories or used goods. These are the three major types of auctions and their separate pricing procedures. English auctions, ascending bids, have one seller and many buyers. The seller puts up an item and bidders raise their offer prices until the top price is reached. Dutch auctions, descending bids, feature one seller and many buyers or one buyer and many sellers. In the first kind, an auctioneer announces a high price for a product and then slowly decreases the price until a bidder accepts. In the other, the buyer announces something he or she wants to buy and potential sellers compete to offer the lowest price. Sealed bid auctions let would-be suppliers submit only one bid, and they cannot know what the other bids are. Pricing methods narrow the range from which the company must select its final price. Impact of other marketing activities. The final price must take into account the brand's quality and advertising relative to the competition. Company pricing policies. The price must be consistent with company pricing policies. Gain and risk sharing. Pricing buyers may resist accepting a seller's proposal because they perceive a high level of risk, such as in a big computer hardware purchase or a company health plan. The seller then has the option of offering to absorb part or all the risk if it doesn't deliver the full promised value. Impact of price on other parties. How will distributors and dealers feel about the contemplated price? If they don't make enough profit, they may choose not to bring the product to market. Companies usually do not set a single price, but rather develop a pricing structure that reflects variations in geographical demand and costs, market segment requirements, purchase timing, order levels, delivery frequency, guarantees, service contracts, and other factors. In geographical pricing, the company decides how to price its products to different customers in different locations and countries. Barter. The buyer and seller directly exchange goods with no money and no third party involved. Compensation deal. The seller receives some percentage of the payment in cash and the rest in products. Buyback arrangement. The seller sells a plant, equipment, or technology to a company in another country and agrees to accept as partial payment products manufactured with the supplied equipment. Offset. The seller receives full payment in cash for a sale overseas, but agrees to spend a substantial amount of the money in that country within a stated time period. Most companies will adjust their list price and give discounts and allowances for early payment, volume purchases, and off-season buying. See Table 16.4. Companies must do this carefully or find their profits much lower than planned. Discount pricing has become the modus operandi of a surprising number of companies offering both products and services. Companies can use several pricing techniques to stimulate early purchase. Loss leader pricing. Supermarkets and department stores often drop the price on well-known brands to stimulate additional store traffic. Special event pricing. Sellers will establish special prices in certain seasons to draw in more customers. Every August, there are back-to-school sales. Special customer pricing. Sellers will offer special prices exclusively to certain customers. Cash rebates. Auto companies and other consumer goods companies offer cash rebates to encourage purchase of the manufacturer's products within a specified time period. Low interest financing. Instead of cutting its price, the company will offer low interest financing. Longer payment terms. Sellers, especially mortgage banks and auto companies, stretch loans over longer periods and thus lower the monthly payments. Warranties and service contracts. Companies can promote sales by adding a free or low-cost warranty or service contract. And psychological discounting. This strategy sets an artificially high price and then offers the product at substantial savings. For example, was $359, now $299. Price discrimination occurs when a company sells a product or service at two or more prices that do not reflect a proportional difference in costs. In first-degree price discrimination, the seller charges a separate price to each customer depending upon the intensity of his or her demand. In second-degree price discrimination, the seller charges less to buyers of larger volumes. Customer segment pricing. Different customer groups pay different prices for the same product or service. Product form pricing. Different versions of the product are priced differently, but not in proportion to their costs. Image pricing. Some companies price the same product at two different levels based on image differences. Channel pricing. Coca-Cola carries a different price depending upon whether the consumer purchases it from a fine restaurant, a fast food restaurant, or a vending machine. Location pricing. The same product is priced differently at different locations even though the cost of offering it at each location is essentially the same. Time pricing. Prices can vary by season, day, or hour. The airline and hospitality industries use yield management systems and yield pricing, by which they offer discounted but limited early purchases, higher-priced late purchases, and the lowest rates on unsold inventory just before it expires. Several circumstances might lead a firm to cut prices. One is excess plant capacity. The firm needs additional business and can't generate it through increased sales effort, product improvement, or other measures. Companies sometimes initiate price cuts in a drive to dominate the market through lower costs. Cutting prices to keep customers or beat competitors often encourages customers to demand price concessions, however, and trains salespeople to offer the price. Low quality trap. Consumers assume quality is low. Fragile market share trap. A low price buys market share but not market loyalty. Shallow pockets trap. Higher-paced competitors match the lower prices but have longer staying power because of deeper cash reserves. And price war trap. Competitors respond by lowering their prices even more, triggering a price war. A successful price increase can raise profits considerably. A major circumstance provoking price increases is cost inflation. Rising costs, unmatched by productivity gains, squeeze profit margins and lead companies to regular rounds of price increases. Delayed quotation pricing. The company does not set a final price until the product is finished or delivered. Escalator clauses. The company requires the customer to pay today's price plus all or part of any inflation increase that takes place before delivery. Escalator clauses base price increases on some specified price index. Unbundling. The company maintains its price but removes or prices separately one or more elements that were formerly part of the offer, such as delivery or installation. Reduction of discounts. The company instructs its sales force not to offer its normal cash and quantity discounts. If the company's profit margin is 3% of sales, a 1% price increase will increase profits by 33% if the sales volume is unaffected. This situation is illustrated in Table 16.5. The introduction or change of any price can provoke a response from customers, competitors, distributors, suppliers, and even the government. Competitors are most likely to react when the number of firms is few, the product is homogeneous, and buyers are highly informed. One way is to assume the competitor reacts in the standard way to a price being set or changed. How should a firm respond to a competitor's price cut? It depends on the situation. The company must consider the product stage in the life cycle, its importance in the company's portfolio, the competitor's intentions and resources, the market's price and quality sensitivity, the behavior of cost with volume, and the company's alternative opportunities. Hey, thanks for watching. Please check out the other videos in this marketing management series. Thanks again.